Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Happy Healing with Luke from sunny Brighton. It's a little bit windy today, so apologies if the video picks up the wind, but it's taken a while to find a spot, have a bit of privacy and try and have a little bit of a wind block, but this is where I am today. Nice little secluded spot. Bit of mini golf behind me, to the side of me, and little railway line. Little train runs from top end of Brighton down to the marina, over in that direction. But so today I want to talk about attachment styles, and especially anxious attachment, which I have, where it comes from, what I'm doing to manage it, and what I've taken out of it so far, and moving forward where I'd like to be. So on that note, there's 4 different attachment styles. We've got anxious, avoidant, disorganized and secure. We'd all love to have the secure because, you know, we've all got an attachment style, one of the 4 mentioned, and I guess the best one, if you like, would be secure. You know, it all comes from childhood, it all comes from your upbringing, your parents or your caregivers. You know, the stronger foundation you had as a child, the more love you received, the more recognition you had, the more involvement, the more acceptance that you had as a child, the more secure you're going to be in your adulthood, in the relationships that you're going to be in. So the anxious style, what is that? You have a longing to be close to somebody. You want to feel part of someone. You want to be loved. You want to be, everything should be reciprocated. That's a standard anyway in any relationship. It should be, everything should be reciprocated, you know, with healthy boundaries. If you don't agree, you know, don't mean you walk away from someone. You know, you set your boundaries, and you know, you've put the onus on the other person. Then it's their decision to work with it. You know, but the anxious style can come across needy, wanting to be mothered. You know, looking for reassurance. You know, but there is an element of truth in it, but it's not all true. You know, if you're with someone, you go through the stages, you're getting to know someone. You know, it's only the last couple of relationships I've been brave enough to share my experiences with my mental health and my childhood, my upbringing, and the effects it's had on me as an adult. You know, so as long as you're with someone who's got the emotional intelligence and maturity, then, you know, depending on what stage you are, you know, if you've passed the romantic stage and you're going into the commitment stage after the power struggle or power stage, you know, then it's accepted. You know, you've done the self-work, you've had your therapy, you've shared your deepest, darkest with your partner, and the judgment hasn't been there. It's a safe place, and they're up for helping you, supporting you, being empathetic towards it, you know. And ultimately that's all we want in someone. You know, you will get with the anxious attachment style, you'd get a lot of love, you'd get a lot of giving, you'd get a lot of effort. Sometimes it could be overwhelming in the beginning of a relationship, which is understandable, and I've had that put towards me before. It's not to make anyone feel uncomfortable. I didn't have the courage to open up and share my upbringing and how I am, you know. But that particular relationship, it done a lot to show me a lot about myself, and moving forward away from that relationship, it opened my eyes up to how I'm being perceived to others in romantic relationships, and a few friendships as well. But I think friendships are a little bit different to romantic relationships in the respect that your circle of friends was there before that relationship, and unfortunately sometimes they're there after the relationship, so, and during. So I think they hold a different bit of substance than romantic relationships. But if you just want to be accepted with the attachment style that we have, are we needy? A little bit, but it's not deliberate, it's not forced, it's not fake. You're not being someone you're not. It's just finding someone who can accept that. And in the beginning, it's you have a trust issue of when do you open up? When do I share this? When do we share what we are and who we are? You want to impress the person. You don't want to scare them off from the get-go. So timing is key. I tend to just go with the flow. Can't put a time on it. It comes out when it comes out, when you feel safe enough to do so. You don't have to give everything in the one conversation or the one date. You can give a little bit each time. But you do want to feel safe when you're doing it, because it's the potential of being judged. And that doesn't help. But my attachment style came from my upbringing, which I shared in a couple of videos ago. With my relationship with my parents, my mother especially, and my dad not wanted another woman in the home or another relationship. That's his decision. Did it affect me and my brother? I don't know. For my brother, maybe a little bit, but I haven't really had that conversation with him. Maybe that's one to have. But for myself, yeah, if I'm honest, yeah, of course it did. I wanted a mother figure. I wanted to know my mother, but that turned out the way it did. But I just think it would have done a lot more for my understanding with women, especially, the respect levels and what to say, how to say, when to say, if to say, but it wasn't to be. So I've had therapy along the way. The therapy I enjoyed the most was EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. God, that's a mouthful. But I really enjoyed that. For those who haven't had it, it's designed for you to sit still and follow your therapist with whatever they've got in their hand, left to right, but only using your eyes. You can't turn your head either way. It is literally your eyes. So you do a journal, you write down stages of your life, so you can go from 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, and so on and so forth, with however old you are, whatever age you're at. But I've done it 6 years ago, and I found it really enjoyable. So you pick stages out of your journal and you remember that event, usually a traumatic event, because they're the things you remember the most. So you bring that thought back, you follow the therapist's hand movements with your eyes for, I don't know, it could be 2 minutes. They stop, they ask you how you feel, where you're feeling it. So it could be your whole body at that point: anger, upset, sadness, the different emotions that you're feeling, and they will continue to do that. Excuse me. They will stop each time, ask you where you're feeling it, to a point where after a couple of sessions you feel it less and less and less. And on some of the things in your journal that you wrote, some of the events, they become almost like, not pointless, because no event in your life is pointless, but I don't know, they don't hold no value anymore. And it teaches you that. It teaches you to, that's so easy to let go. Why have I held on to something for all those years? 10, 15, 20 years I've held on to that, and it's unnecessarily held me back. And it opens you to that, and I found it really interesting. I found it very, very helpful, and it was only in the therapy that I'm doing now, which is SFBT, Solution Focused Building Therapy. Some people call it Solution Focused Brief Therapy. I like the building because you are building something, and this one is quite different again. So it's more based on, rather than based on the problems, it's about the solutions, about what you can do moving forward, where you want to be moving forward. It changes your mindset, it changes your focus, what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, and what you want to do moving forward. So the things you're doing wrong, they teach you to just don't do them, dismiss them. The things you're doing right, do more of. What are you, I don't know, it could be putting more time and energy into your friends and family. They're the correct things to do. It could be putting more effort into your job. That's the correct thing to do. It could be doing more a hobby, which is the correct thing to do. Just keeping busy, about all positive things, and the things you're doing wrong. Like, are you still harboring and holding on to things that bring you down, that don't help? So they teach you to push them aside. Just forget them for now. Focus on what is helping you, and through that, where do you want to be? I'm doing 6 sessions because that's what was offered, with the potential of doing more. This was through my employee assistant program at Alstom. Again, fantastic. I can't say that enough. But it's just teaching me so much at the moment. Like with what I've gone through in my childhood, this therapy has, because you have to bring up past traumas. That's just a given. With any therapy you do, unfortunately you're going to have to bring it up. Whether you want to or not, the right thing to do is to bring it up. Not to harbour it, but the therapist wants to get to know you. So you're there for a reason. And I'll say again, like I did in a previous video, if you're doing therapy, don't do it for somebody else. Do it for yourself, and you've got to believe in the reasons you're doing it. You want to get better. You want to get help. You want to be assisted in your healing. So it's hard to do it on your own. You can't burden anybody else. Some people don't understand. Some people have got a settled life. They just don't get it. They don't want to get it. They'll be your friend for life, but there's friends you go to for reasons, and there's settled friends who are in like 20, 30, 40 year relationships. Are they the best person for advice? They're good advice when you're in a settled relationship, but when you're not in one and you've had reason not to want to be in one or whatever, they're not the person to go to. A good therapist, a specialised therapist, not a generic one, you know, because you're just going to repeat time and time again. The waiting lists are long, you know, so if you've got an employee assistance program at work, please take advantage of it, because you will get the correct support, and the waiting list isn't nowhere near as long as what the NHS is. You know, a lot of people need help out there. I picked up on that in a previous video, but no, you've got to believe in the therapy that you're doing. You've got to want to do it. You've got to invest in it, not just with money, but with time, with effort, you know. And away from that, you know, you've got to do the self-work as well. You know, it's a graft. It is a graft, but, you know, it's for the rest of your life. So just do it, believe in it, and trust it. But it's solved. I've found that I'm letting go of an awful lot of my past traumas, and that's why you do the therapy, right? That's why you do the self-work. That's why you consulting people. That's why you change for the better, you know. So I just can't believe how many past traumas I've let go of. I've let go of my dad, I've let go of my mum, I've accepted who I am. I feel my old self has gone. Finally, now I can move forward and accept this brand new me with loving, open arms, you know. The rest of you are going to benefit massively, I promise. But I'm smiling for no reason now. It's just like life has changed. Life's been really kind and pleasant to me the last month or so, you know. I don't know why, but I take it. I'm happy. I'm this new guy. I didn't even know he existed, you know. But yeah, hello me, goodbye old me, you know. But just invest your time and effort into change and healing, because you don't want to be that old person. In relationships, you've repeat offending is, when does it become you? You can blame the other person until the cows come home. It can't always be the other person. You have a level of responsibility for yourself. You have a level of responsibility for the other person. You need to be honest with yourself. If you're repeat offending, you wasn't ready. You was not ready to affect somebody else's life in a negative way. And if you don't do the work, if you're not aware of yourself, if you don't understand yourself, then unfortunately it's gonna go the same way as every other relationship has done, and it's not healthy for you. It affects not just you, your partner. It affects if they've got kids, it affects their kids. If you've got kids, it affects your kids. You know, from affecting you and your partner, two people, it could end up affecting between 10 and 20 different people, and you're hurting that many people, and it's wrong. It is absolutely wrong, and it's not what we're in a relationship for, you know. So be ready, be transparent, love yourself, be kind to yourself. You've got that duty of care to yourself, you know. Trust in yourself, believe in yourself, do the work, do the therapy, believe in that, because it's all for yourself. It's all for your self-growth. And whoever you meet, you'll meet the right person. And if they're not the right person, you be open and honest enough to say it's not for you. You know, you won't, let's just give it a little bit more time, you know. They might have had an off day, you know, but the off day becomes 2 days, becomes a week, becomes a couple of weeks, becomes a month. 6 months down the line, your initial thought now comes back to you, and, you know, you've wasted 6 months of someone else's time and your own time. It's just like, is it really necessary? You know, so all this comes from, this is about me. So these are the things I've done. These are the behaviours that I've had, and, you know, I don't want that no more. It's not fair. I don't deserve it. You guys don't deserve it. And being self-aware is key to a happy future you know. So with the therapy I'm doing now, it's teaching me to accept what's been, welcome what is, and look forward to what is going to be, if that makes sense. It makes sense to me, I hope it makes sense to you. So that's just a little breakdown, you know. So the points out of this video would be the correct therapy. It's important. Buying into it and investing into the therapy. Being self-aware, understanding yourself, accepting what has happened in the past. You can't change that. It's never gonna go. But accept it, because the longest relationship you're gonna have is with you. You came on your own, you go on your own. In between that, you're the ever present, you know, you're the ever after. So it's important to remember that, to appreciate that, and to give yourself what you want someone else to give you. Because if you can do it, then the other person will see that, they will reciprocate that, and it will benefit the pair of you. It will heal you, it will help you grow, it will improve you, it will do so much for you. So I'm going to leave you with that, guys. Thank you for listening. It's the longest one I've had or done. So thank you very much. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please like, because for some reason likes are huge, they're important, they help. So what's not to like? So please like, and comment. Please comment. I want to know what you're feeling. I want to know if any of this makes sense, if any of this hits home, and you know, your opinions, your tools, your mechanisms, what stage of healing you're at, the progress you've made, and where you are. You know, share that, because you know, we're here to help. You know, pass it on, pay it forward. You know, so guys, I love you from Sunday, Whitney Brighton, and yeah, happy healing. Love you all.